Hi luminaries, in this video we're going to make these cute kitty pom-poms. So what you need are your loom tool. You could use any of the loom tool, it doesn't matter which one you have. Embroidery floss, yarn, about 6 inches of yarn for the eye color. Doesn't matter what color, but high contrast is good. Fingering weight yarn or very thin yarn for the mouth area. If you use it too thick, it won't look as good in my opinion. Whiskers, if you want whisker. This one doesn't have whiskers, but depends. And it should be a stiff yarn. This one is linen and cotton, so it actually holds up a little bit. A dab of glue. A needle is always helpful. And sharp scissors. Okay, let's get started. Let me clear out my area. I'm going to clear out this glue since I won't need it right now. And it could get a little sticky. Okay. And let me bring in the bowl that I always like to put my yarn in as I wind. Set these aside so you could clearly see these. Okay, so first we're gonna wind, secure the yarn in any of the notches, and you're gonna go 30 revolutions, not too tight, not too loose, and the yarn should be evenly spread out, okay? So this is 5. Okay, so now when I'm done winding, I'm just going to secure it to one of the notches here. And now you're going to bring in your eye color and just lay this down here. And you're going to cut the same length as the width of your tool and lay down like so. Okay. Make sure there's a bit of a distance between them. And now taking your yarn, you're going to do an X. This helps hold the yarn down so that you could just wind really quickly. After this, okay, I'm going to go an additional 150 revolutions, but you could go as much as you like. The more yarn you wind onto the tool, the bigger the face of the cat will be. So again, I'm going to go 150 revolutions. I'm going to fast forward this part. Okay, so now I'm on my way, and then I'm going to secure it to any of the notches here. Cut, you don't have to leave a long tail. Set this aside, you won't need this anymore. Now you're going to take 2 feet of your embroidery floss. So 2 feet is, between the finger up to your mid bicep there. Then set that aside. Oops. Okay. Now you're going to thread this under your yarn bundle like so. Make sure your ends are even. And you're going to make one tie, not a knot, just a tie. So go 1, pull. Make sure it's in the middle. If it's not, just use your finger to move it. Take this side and take it underneath and then flip the yarn bundle off. So I can see here that it's not totally in the middle. So I just use my fingers to move it. And now you're going to make a surgeon's knot. So this is 2 overhand knot, 1, 2, and pull. Okay, let me redo that real fast. Cross your ties, 1, 2, and then pull. Okay, you don't have to pull it fully tight. Slide this off the yarn bundle. Slide the yarn bundle off the tool, and now you're going to work on tightening this embroidery floss. Okay, so my tip is work closely to the middle knot. Don't pull from far away because that would just hurt your hand. Oops, I got this glue underneath here. Okay, it could hurt your hand. It could actually snap the floss quite easily. So work closely, making small pulls, and then working very quickly or asking somebody else to put their finger on the tie there. Make a knot to close it out. See how quickly I worked. And then again, make another tie. And then you're going to cut. And now we're going to trim our pom-pom into a cat. You won't need your pom-pom trim, guys, so this is great. You're going to cut all your loops here. Okay. You just make sure you get all the loops. If you don't, no worries, because they'll pop out later as you trim this down a little bit. Okay, so the key to trimming a cat is that you want to identify where your eyes are. So here are my eyes right here. Do you see that? The green? You're going to have the same thing on the other side. So ignore that for now. So working with the green, just cut right above it. You're going to cut a tiny bit of yarn off like this. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to trim this. We're going to flatten this all the way around, but just make sure you have kind of a teardrop oval shape to your trimming. Okay, so follow me real quickly. I'm going to have to turn this upside down as we do this. Okay, see how I'm doing it in a teardrop shape, or I don't know, U or a teardrop. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay, so now it could look like this. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flatten this like so. So using your scissors to flatten like this. Don't cut into the pom-pom, but just flatten it using it like this. It's a lot of ways. It's a lot like you're trimming the pineapple pom-pom, in case you've actually worked on that before. Okay, and as you do it, just make sure you fuzz it up, because again, yarn just kind of flows and tuck itself sometimes inwards. Okay. Okay, so see how that's showing up like that? And now, again, now the more I trim, the more I'm just gonna see the definition coming out. Great. Now I'm gonna actually turn it and do the same on this side. And the back side doesn't have to be super perfect. It's, you know, you have a little bit more give, a little more room for error. Okay. And while you're here, I'm going to have you just cut out the eyes. So you're going to take the tip of your needle and just work close to the inside right there, and then cut out the two pieces of green, or the eyes there. Oops, looks like I didn't get this one all the way. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is looking pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the upper region. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and take this straight up on the side right here like this. See how I did that? Again, I'm going to do the same for the other side, but I'm going to have to turn this upside down to get that same effect. So see how you have these sharp edges now? And now what we're going to do is we're going to take scissors and just use the tip to clear out the middle area between the ears. So we're clearing out this part right here. Okay, like on all of these that you see. Okay. So it's a little bit shaggy right now, but don't worry, just work patiently and slowly. Okay, and now, say I have this ridge now, I'm going to start defining the ear. I like really small ears, so see how I went to the side, and then I'm going to take my scissors and chop that down right there. Okay. Somebody told me once that one of my cats looks like a koala, so I guess you could make a koala too. That's pretty funny. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that does look like a koala. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for this, cutting at an angle, because basically you want to create tiny little upside down V's almost, or the ears of the cat. Okay. Okay, see how this is coming together really quickly? The more you cut down. This is looking pretty good. So I'm going to smooth this out slightly more. I might fast forward this part. Okay, so I now have a cat, and we're going to put on the mouth and nose and some whiskers. You know what, let me adjust this slightly bit more. I realize this is not as triangular as the other side. So let me adjust this. Flatten in the back. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put on the mouth. So up to you, you can make an X or you can make like a classic, you know, 2 U's. So I think I'm just going to make, actually the U, I actually like that a lot. Let me show you how to do it. So you're going to cut a tiny bit. This is about 1 inch, but usually you could just curve it like that. Cut another piece off. If it's not totally perfect, don't worry, because we could actually always trim it after we glue it down. Taking your glue, taking the tip of your needle, applying the glue on one side. Might get a little bit sticky, but no worries. Part of crafting. Okay. I'm just going to put it on like that. Oops. Okay. With the glue, it sticks pretty well and pretty quickly. And if you need to manipulate it, sometimes I like using the tip of my needle to completely change it. Okay, and don't worry if the glue is showing because it'll dry clear. Okay, see, now I'm going to use my needle. Move this aside. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, now I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to manipulate this into place. So see how this side is much longer than the other side? What I'll do is I'll take my scissors in and cut and pull before it actually dries up. Okay, now if you want to do the whiskers, I'll show you how to do that. So bringing your tool back, and what I like to do is just secure it to one of the notches, and then I'm going to go 8 revolutions because I'm going to do 4 whiskers on each side. I didn't count that, so I'll probably end up with more. And then what I do is I slide this off, and literally I cut one side of the loop. It's just a really, really quick way to make even cuts. Okay, so, oh, I got 8 even. What I like to do is I take 4 and I make a knot. This is a really easy way to put on whiskers. There's other ways that I've taught before, which is threading it through the back, but in this case, I'm just gonna do it a really, really easy way. You'll be totally surprised. You know what? I think I might be able to get whiskers, two sets of whisker from just this one piece. So I'm gonna make a knot on the other side as well, because this is long enough. Okay. Okay, set this aside. Now you're going to cut really close to the knot, at the end of the knot here, like this. Do the same for the other side. Set that aside. And now fold this in half so that they're even. And what you're going to do is you're going to just load the tip of that knot up with glue and just position it right by the mouth there. Don't worry about that being long. We're going to fix that later. And also, you know, putting the glue at the end of the knot here will help actually secure the knot even more. Okay. The needle comes really handy. Okay, you're gonna let that dry, but while you do that, you could, just trim your whiskers so that they're a little bit shorter and then they stick out. And then we're gonna cut right here. And then sometimes what I like to do is I actually take glue in my fingertip and just run it through the run it through the whiskers so that it actually stays almost like starchy and they stick out, which is really easy. Look at how adorable these kitties are. Enjoy, everyone.